Welcome, guys. Wednesday it is, and volatility spiked in again. Quite nice to see, by the way, but nothing significant changing yet. So, if I'm gonna dive in quite quickly right now in all of the metrics, um, VIX did a spike above 20. So, yeah, we did receive that, and we didn't regain the 21.5-ish area. Still at the resistance, but not much of change till we're not gonna break the lows, right? The first low that we should consider is 17.4, and the next one, the major one, is at 16. The most important one, in my opinion. So not much of change that till we're not gonna do one of both ways. We still could go sideways, right? We saw some volatility coming in on the New York Open and a little bit after that. So look out for those kind of things. It will happen quite often from now on, in my opinion. Now, Dixie, so the dollar starts to grind a little bit more higher up. Nothing significant yet, not even regaining the previous loss. So still potentially they're trying it, but till we're not gonna find any regain of particular high or low, then still that's gonna be sideways or continuation to the downside. Okay, moving on the whole total. We did settle the high, and right now we are back at the middle, quote unquote, range of it. And so far, I'm still want to hold it above 696 for a significant uptrend for it. That's kind of exact the same how the charts looks like on most of the coins on low time frame. Funny enough, but yeah, it's good. It's still potentially going higher till we're not gonna lose the low, right? That's the most important thing. On that's a little bit different from token to token, but that's kind of a stuff that we should look for it right now and see how we're gonna deal with it. Just because gold and as well silver had some volatility coming in, that's that's a really bit weird price action, to be honest with you, because yes, we did lose the previous low, but we still aiming holding on the high on the main one that we lost. That's been regained, and then we are holding on that freaking range, middle of it. So it's iffy. Still, like if you're gonna go on 4 hour, like you can argue that we lost at that one. Still holding. That's the high. That's the resistance, of course. But then, yeah, regaining even at 5K. That's a sign to even come close into the 5.1 and see maybe potential uptrend, right? Because there is still potential much more to fill up higher up. There's some fair value gaps, and people got skipped quite heavily on that move. And technically, overall, what you're doing, this is a little bit uptrending into the resistance. So you know where this goes, right? That's quite known for most of the people. So yeah, overall, this could still pop. So if that's gonna be happening, market tend to go a little bit more sideways or even in decrease a little bit lower as well. There's no CME gap, the one above us still open up, so not much to talk about that. But funny enough, we tempt on dominance to break the previous low what we did. That's still fine, but we are holding on the major one. So technically a little bit more still in the uptrend. Losing the 58%, yeah, 58.4. Potentially we're gonna slide a little bit lower just because there is some gap in between that fair value gap and like not much of holding us. Definitely a first stop is gonna be around 57-ish. So watch out for that one. Still potentially higher up if we're gonna hold that, but now we need to regain definitely something significant for that trend to be valid, right? So overall, still same thing. Not much change from the last session, and definitely we didn't change anything significant from a month or a little bit longer than that. Why? Just because the sentiment of the market is still in a split quite heavily that we had from January the 20th, and overall market size is right now in the stables, and altcoins, large cap and shitcoins are still down, right? We didn't even come close to it. This is kind of exact the same view as this. That split, right? But that one is a little bit more hardcore. It's a little bit for over long term from now, but still it looks like we are doing kind of the same thing. And yeah, long and shorts is still spiking above the 17 or 70-ish area. So watch out for that one for any potential to the long, to the short side. So that said, moving on, we had some numbers coming in. They've been quite hardcore as well on most of the topics. So watch out for that one. That volatility comes in, and we start to get almost through the first quarter. That's quite important. Yeah, capital flow index, not much change as well on it. It's still aiming to go more into the silver and gold. Either way, they had that dump on it. That's still grinding higher up. Nasdaq is a little bit more below the 40-ish percent. SPX is quite high still, so. And VIX, right? VIX is still aiming to attempt to go higher up, and the market's still low as it is, together with Dixie. So yeah, that's all on the sentiment of the market right now. What we did from the last swing on 50 for our chart, it's quite nice. We had a rejection, right? We almost didn't had that over here. We almost fell from that one, but when we pushed one more higher, we did get into the resistance. So yeah, that's fine. And then we had that drop off with a quite significant retest of it. That was perfect to the T technically. And now we are still grinding lower. Yes, we closed below the daily, and for our broker structure already, that's the same what Viking was mentioning, that was a sneaky close. We had this volatility spike into that one, but now we are still tempting to trade below the daily. That's quite important flip. That's the only flip that you want to see. If you're going to be staying above that, closing above like couple candles or 4 hour, then that's something significant. But if the next one or the one that we are right now, current candle, got close below, then we still tempting to go lower. That was just some kind of liquidity grab both ways and just break some orders. Like I've been saying last week, Sunday, the weekly is going to be your line in the sand, depending on which side you're going to be. If you're going to be below the weekly, then you know where and which way you're going to trade. If we start to flip that, tempt as well for the alts, exact same thing. You need to be on one on another side of the weekly level. That's the most important right now. Overall, what did we do? We came perfectly back at the middle range of this whole structure. So right now, the level that decides which way we're going to go or which way we're going to stay is 66.5, in my opinion. That hip that's been already twice tested is still getting weaker, but it's holding us, right? Getting below that, we could slide a little bit lower, and the first kind of a stop of it, I'm not really considering this whole structure, but I'm aiming to get at 64.2. So that's still the game plan. And this is technically still uptrending, right? This is as well similar for most of the people. If we attempt to do something like that, I'm more likely going to see some grind sideways, a little bit more higher up, and then the pop into the bigger resistance, right? So far, yes, we are below on low of that whole triangle shit. But if we start to drop literally below this line, then that's going to be definitely, right, the retest of that, and you know how that goes, yes. But this is kind of right now the point of interest, middle of the range and the daily. Those two are quite significant. You need to be on below or above one of those lines, to make it quite simple for people to understand. So that's how it is. If you are not in a short right now or from back of the resistance, then the only short that you should look at it is the short from the retest of the daily on a small time frame. That's a scalp, and then the major one could be from 66.5 into the lows, right? That's quite obvious if you want to make it be safe enough for it. And still, this is still the support that you aim for. Not much of liquidity there or high time frame liquidity. We've been like kind of nicely grabbing it most of the times, grinding it into the lows. So there is a small pocket flow time frame, but nothing significant or nothing that to be kind of aiming for. I'm much more looking right now as well on the order for the book and the way how we filling it up. So we didn't have it on last Sunday that much of us. They start to like pulling some of the orders, not much, nothing significant, and the block below us is still there. right? So because they didn't pull that and they kind of like slowly stacking it a bit more and more and more on it, I'm tempted to see this as a support if you're gonna get back at it, because there is a small gap and I have no clue why all of those indicators are resetting it and I don't have the profile volume anymore. But anyhow, this is still big profile volume, but we are below is, I guess, what I can remember it. And then to the low side, this is the next kind of pit stop. What we're gonna see if we're gonna get back at the low of the range. So yeah, this is still the plan. There is not much over here, bit more above it, but to get there, you seriously need to break out of the structure. So that's gonna be happening. Then you know which way we're gonna go. But so far, we did settle a new low. From the previous high, a new low of it on Bitcoin. So yeah, that kind of the whole deal about it. And the most important is to get below the 66.5. That's what I'm saying. This is well the low of the daily that you really need to break if you want to go lower, right? That's been already tested. So there it is. Not much to hold us anymore. So yeah, that's kind of on Bitcoin in a short, quick term, because there is not much to talk about it, not much of change. Still continuation to the downside. We didn't regain the previous high from the Monday that we settled. So still the weekly attempt to hold us lower, right? So yeah, there are no questions about Bitcoin. There is not much to talk about it, I think, after Vikings stream, but we'll continue on the stuff that I've been talking in the pro signals. And last week that I'm looking at to buy and to trade on leverage. But maybe be a little bit more important right now to look out for. So yeah, moving on hype. So yeah, we had that nice run up. It is that 66 sweep could be near. Yeah, low time from daily backtest. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, you're right. Could be right. So could do this. So yeah, that's all possible. Now moving on hype. Still, I'm laddering into the position. I'm buying, like I've been saying. The point of interest of me was 29, 28, and then below a little bit of the 28 wick. If we're gonna start to get below this price and we start to close any 4 hour over here, so we might break the structure. We still could wick into it. I don't mind. I attempt to do that, right? The big wick, come back, retest, and then carry on. That's all fine. So yeah, that was the pocket that I've been interesting into it. That's kind of the support. It built playing out quite nicely, right? With the attempt price to hold higher. But still the same thing applies to hype. Going back above the daily, that's the most important stuff. And after that, you're gonna need to take care of the weekly. So far, we've been quite high above the weekly, and then we tend to kind of drop off of it. So that might be as well a kind liquidity grab, and it was perfect retest of the high of the swing of that. So unfortunately, right now we need to hold on the low, right? If we're not gonna do that, fine. Don't care if I'm gonna get stopped out on that one. It was a nice position to build up and quite tight stop loss. If that's gonna attempt to go lower, that's fine with me. So then, of course, we're gonna see some BART formation going back at the previous year, or sorry, yearly open. If that's not gonna be the case of holding us of the retest, because we've been quite heavily going into the upside, we might attempt to fill this fair value gap over here, what we create. Yes, I'm looking at that one as well. So then I'm kind of aiming for the high of the 23 and the low of the 21. That area for the support, right? That could be quite significant for hype to hold us and then do another leg up. If that's going to be the support for the high time frame, right? And then you're going to look technically for it to get back at the 36 and regain that. I'm not really looking right now to come and getting back below the 20. If that's going to be the case, that means for hype, and I need to be careful with the AI chart not to update it. because I don't like the new update. If that's going to be the case, then that means all of that what we did was just listing on the exchange, and I don't remember which one it was, that they had, that the volume was created, and then we just gonna do, right, something like this. Potentially still continuation downside. Same thing what we kind of did over here, right? So yeah, is that on the book? I mean, could be. I'm not seeing it right now just because of this hold that's been quite steady and really strong hold by Hype. So not really seeing it happening, but yeah, of course it could do it, right? The only thing what worried me a couple days ago, but I've been looking at it and the daily ones, that we did broke the soul structure, right? We did broke it and we didn't regain the high of it. So technically this is still in the position to go lower. So we're not gonna regain at least 31 on it. So those are the things that I'm looking at for Hype, right? I will take a swing on it. Just because this is my rule. I always long the support, no matter what. If I'm going to be stopped out, then that's going to be the sign for me to change the direction. Done. And we might flip this support into the resistance, and that's going to be the case. I'm going to short this, right? And that's fine. I don't mind that. I'm still sticking with my plan, and this is how it goes, right? This is nice position so far to build up. I still have some orders below, and it didn't reach out my invalidation level yet. So I'm still fine with that. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at it and how I will trade from it. The first simple rule is to regain the 29.6. That's the first aim, right? If that's going to be the case, then yes, we start to reverse and getting back at 31. That's the second important one, stepwise. But yeah, so far, Hype did reach my levels quite nicely. This was quite nice push of it. Right now, of course, we went a little bit lower. So yeah, potentially breaking the downside, but we're still holding on the major 28-ish level. But that's been already tested. So if we slide lower, it's done. And I'm happy to take the loss. As it is. So yeah, let's see how we're going to be dealing with that for the next couple days as well. Now, moving on. What my next point of interest for alt is injective. For those one as well, as I'm mentioning, weekly is the line in the stand for the direction which way we're gonna go. Just because we open up from the high and the low in the middle of it, I said in the post as well, it all depends if we're gonna regain the high, regain the weekly and hold that, then that's your continuation. After failing that, then you know which way we're gonna go. And quite perfectly, like that's the line. We've been holding it, grabbing liquidity, even once sneaky, not really sneaky, but quite heavily close above that. But then exactly in the same moment, we've been failing it, again, regaining it, testing it, and then pushing it lower. So you can safely say we are getting closer to the low of it than to the top of the range, right? Quite simply. Same thing as what I've been mentioning for Hype. Hype, it tend to go against the market and against the Bitcoin. So I think they are starting to decouple again, like they used to do it when they launch. That's a good sign, but let's see if we're gonna keep up with it. Injective, if we start to close the low right now, then we start to break the structure again on the 4 hours. So that means everything what we did over here, it's done. That turns into resistance and we aiming into the low of the support. So yeah, the area that I aimed for to start laddering into my position. So that's going to be the case like that, easily. So yeah, those orders are waiting for it to be grabbed, and let's see if we're going to grab that liquidity. I'm quite happy if we're not going to go lower than that, just because there are some gaps, and I would not mind to stick with the structure right now and not filling the wick like we did over here. Could we do exact the same thing like we did over here? Of course we can, right? Those are the alts and they tend to do bigger stuff no matter what. So yeah, we could. But like I say, that's the area that I'm starting my positions for a long, just because we've been breaking the structure over here and barely did it on the body. Sorry, we did on the body, but we didn't do it on the wicks. So it's a 50-50 for me if that's going to hold on it, but still body-wise matters for me just because that's the structure. And to break your brain about it, this matters more than the VIX for me. Just because it's alt, they tend to run higher up or not fully always, but still the body matters for your structure, and your structure is uptrending for now, right? Till we're not gonna break the low, and that's change. So if you want to see the structure of it, you switch off the wicks. But yeah, this is it. And this is how it goes. I'm gonna ladder in from around the 2.9 till the low of the wick. So that's 2.93. And my invalidation is gonna be around, I guess it was 2.90. Right? So it's gonna be below that gap. So let's see how that's gonna go. If that's gonna be the hit. If that's gonna be the hit and it will work out, then yeah, of course the aim is to regain the 3.2. That's the first, it's going to be the first major TP, that area of resistance block over here, what we're creating right now in the structure. Secondary, it's going to be the underside retest of 3.25. And then, of course, if we get it, then I will aim for this area over here to be taken at 3.4. Nice stepwise, 1, 2, 3. And then the rest is going to be running it up higher. Now, moving on AVAX, what did quite better than injective event to settle a high, because that high from the low of 5.5, what we got over here, that's a really proper high. And of course, that's as well the stupefib, what we're going to have over here, right? So no brainer. You can use that one. I use stupefibs only for confirmation for the support or whatsoever. But yeah, we did settle a new high of this structure. So this is proper continuation. Yes, it is at a resistance, but still structure-wise, it's a continuation into the resistance. So overall, we have as well nice pocket of high time frame liquidity, both with a little bit of gap of it. So yeah, for AVAX could be potentially to grab those ones and then start to do something like that. That would be freaking awesome. Technically, what we're doing is exactly the same thing over and over, right? So yeah, I'm much more happier with AVAX, and I will ladder a little bit more heavier into it because it's a quite bigger pocket of support. So we could even attempt to dip a little bit lower in 8.4-ish to grab the liquidity, and without even breaking the structure, because the blow that you need to break is this. That's the major low, right? So yeah, potentially still a little bit more deeper, right? And that's exactly the same thing what in injective and the rest of the alts. Weekly, lying in the sand still, right? Attempt to trade below that, it's grinding it lower. And now you are grinding or attempting to trade below the daily, you're grinding it. So grab this, you're gonna have one more push, going back, grab push, and then do something like that, right? Easily, I guess, structure-wise. This is still grinding. And I'm happily more that the alts start to grind. That said, all of this, what you're seeing here, that one push here, and the price action attempt to be stable, but still grinding into the downside, right? I think it's clearly to say that this is true what it shows you. All of the flow, right, of capitals is more in alts. That means they don't run or they don't do 20x is run into the upside whatsoever. That's not the point of it. The point is they are stable, they are holding, right? They are quite nice and like grinding formation of structure. I like that more. That says it's strength, like what you see over here. That's the strength that we had. Now we are just pulling off and then grinding the liquidity for the upside. First thing first, and then grabbing the low side, and then you do another run, right? That's how it is. Thinking right now, right? That's how it shows for you. So yeah, that's the area that I'm looking at it. Right now we have the point of interest, just because that's quite heavily support as well. We had a nice bounce from it. Let's see if we're gonna grab that liquidity below. That said, we could dip into the 8.7. That's what I'm aiming for. Now, render. Render is a little bit more different than AVAX and injective. That tend to be a little bit more stronger. Why? Just because we are acting and trading above the weekly. So that's good. That's potentially good to go higher up and leave everything behind it. That's fine. And like I've been saying, I will take a swing at if there is going above the weekly, but those are just a small scalps. Nothing significant heavy yet, or just scalps to if we're gonna attempt to be in something like this, right? That's still possible. And then of the readers of that one is your heavy stuff, because they still can grind it out as much as possible, and without even warning you, you don't recognize this maybe because we've been testing weekly for quite heavily moments in every single candle that you formed. That means that level is way weaker than you expect, and we still could do something like that overall, right? That's why I'm scalping and keep it as tight as possible, just in case we're gonna do that. So still strong, but there is some weakness to the downside, right? Because we've been testing everything. Not much of liquidity, weirdly. Render doesn't farm the liquidity like the rest of the coins. So yeah, weirdly, there is not much. And the only one that shows up and quite wiped quite quickly, they don't stay for long. So that's why there are some empty spaces just because as well of the wicks that you created, right? That's quite simple because they are taking the liquidity, and the bodies that have been creating, they are still stacking. And now comes the trick with removing the wicks. It shows you exactly where you are. So overall, if you even hold this low, that's fine. And the weekly, still fine. But you are tempting to create lower structure, right? So you start to squeeze out. Now it's a point like which way you're gonna get the squeeze continuation, right? It's gonna be like that or like that. Easily enough, you just watch your next moves. So the next candle is gonna close anything below this, right? Then yeah, you're gonna go over here, and then you start to do something like this, or maybe this. Structure is quite easy if you understand it. I think that's with most of the things, but I mean, like if you properly see the candles formation and look at it so many often, you're gonna recognize that. And VIX are here only to mess it up and make you confused about it. But anyhow, still continuing on render, this is still the pocket that I'm aiming for. If we're gonna have the technically quote unquote the Bart Simpson or any kind of retracement into it, what potentially could be happening, like we had it even on this higher time frame stuff, right? We dipped quite lower than that, but structure wise, still technically holding on it, right? So what we are doing over here, it's a really small area that it happened here. That kind of slide of price action, right? You want it over here as well, look like this. So you're gonna grind this liquidity, and then you're gonna do another pop, and that's how you show the strength of and confirming it as well at the same time. No matter what, there is some high time frame liquidity, even a little bit more deeper. That's still fine. For render, I want to keep it quite tight, so my stop is going to be reduced a little bit below 1.23. Everything below that, I'm considering we're going to do the wipe and maybe continuing a little bit lower. So either way, we did close above this high. This is still quite higher resistance, right? It's quite clear that we are at the resistance over here. And we just literally touch that. So now is make it or break it. It's gonna be, you can do it in two ways, like grind this shit out, do another pop. So you're gonna have a continuation, come back, right? Even deeper, you can come back on that one. So you're not gonna be worried about the structure. And then you're gonna do the major stuff, right? But if you're not gonna do that and you're gonna do something like this, then we might see potentials of lows of it, right? So let's see. It's gonna be interesting, definitely, but I'm quite happy with render so far. And yeah, let's see how that's gonna be continuing. Solana, I don't think I mentioned that one on the post because that's quite a lot. Didn't want to push too much tokens because I understand that people might be overwhelmed about that. It's still in the same kind of case area that we are with the rest of the tokens. So we did settle a proper higher high from this resistance. We regained that, and right now we are same thing below the weekly and below the daily, and we are already breaking the structure on 4 hours. So this could potentially go into the lows of 79-ish. So perfect buy. Everything below that, and around 60 is perfect spot buy. But for leverage one, potential orders, I will start to stack them from 79-ish till 76.6. So that's perfect low. And here it's a little bit more tricky because Solana have quite proper support. That says on the 4-hour, we have support at 76.7. That's been tested, but at the same time, you create another support at 77.5. So we have, let's say, overlapping support on Solana, right? And now daily wise, it did settle a proper and a really, really strong support at 78.3. Yeah, 78.3. So that's a proper support. Yes, it's been tested, but still strong enough to settle a higher high. So this overlapping support of 4-hour and a daily for Solana, it's for me quite strong to be convinced to take a swing on it, right? This is quite strong. I like that. If you see overlapping supports on swings on daily and 4-hour, yeah, that's should be most of the case really strong for any continuation. And I'm super happy even if you're gonna do something like this, going back at it, regain only that. For example, you do some sketchy shit like that, come back and do another one, right? So technically you're gonna just grind out this range. I'm quite happy about that as well. Like I don't mind if you do that. Most case, that's the way how the market tends to do. So yeah. Now we need to make sure if we're gonna hold 81.9 or we're gonna break that, right? So that's the level to come back and retest daily or regain that, right? To do something like this, or we're gonna do that and going into the lows of 80. So yeah, potentially really nice. It did break the structure, so yeah, this is still in continuation no matter what. But yeah, that's quite nice list of tokens to think about it for any kind of investment, if it's spot or leverage. All of them buying spot right now or lower, it's a no-brainer in my case. So yeah, Aster, I'm not sure if that had yeah, it did regain. So yeah, one regain, that's fine. Right now, where you are, below the weekly, failing that. And holding on yearly, so the yearly has been already quite heavily tested on that perspective. You can still come back at 0.62 and hold that. Right? But it, funny enough, and that's a little bit ironically, for the token that's been breaking all of the records for the lows and structure, that's the one that's still holding on February. And it did reverse that. Because most of the market, we attempt to trade below February, and that one did a little bit the ironic move, and it tend to trade above that. So yeah, good that it is. And this shows as well how strong a level can be, especially a monthly one, right? If you open up, you get below that and rebuy quite quickly, that heavily rebuy on that one. And just because this is on the lowest low, it's been hold on. This is the way how it goes, right? So you can play it in both ways and something like that. If you look forward to trade this, not something for me to look at it. Anyhow, let's have a look at the chat. I think, yeah, let's be saying something. I'm in as well. Got built on the 28.9. Oh, are you on hype as well? Oh, that's nice. So you are stacking over here. Let me just check what I'm. Wait, just double checking what I'm sharing. Yeah. Let me check what my entry is on that one. Which one you been? 28.9. Yeah, I have the same one. Wait, let me screenshot. Also good order on Solana and Avex. Yeah, so that's gonna be kind of the same what I've been showing off, right? Yeah, I think that's the stupid pocket as well. Yeah, it is. Brain. Yeah, see, quite perfectly as well. Stupid pocket. yeah, there we have it. But yeah, that's the one as well. Yeah, exactly. And Solana, perfect, nice, nice one, really, really nice. But yeah, that's a freaking list. I'm looking at it, and I will update them later today, maybe, or maybe from tomorrow. Let's see how the market's gonna be looking for it. But so far, yeah, that's definitely something to look out for, right? And technically, I'm kind of like, you can see that as well. Like this pin as well holding render below, right? That pocket. So regaining that, we could potentially get back at that resistance. So let's see how we're gonna be dealing with that. And there is some fair value gap below as well. So yeah, that's quite nice. I have some more orders over here, so let's see how deep I can push my average. How tight to make the stop loss. Interesting, definitely. And yeah, that whole freaking push over here on the Bitcoin. Yeah, nice. Not much change. Volatility came in, but yeah, we closed above the daily, but we failed first from it. So that daily it's been done. And this is still continuation. Till in 2.5 hours, we're not gonna reverse that and going aiming for the weekly again. So quite nice. And I'm not sure if you guys realize that. Let me check. Yeah, that one been going nice, but our lovely forgettable trio, it's like I was mentioning, quite strong holding it so far. Yes, those moves are quite heavily because they are like almost 1x ish movements what we do up and down. But look, structure wise, we don't have that price X anymore. So means the volume comes in, or they try to hold it, or they try to keep it up on the exchanges for a while. So yeah, something may be interesting that people might forgot about it, but yeah, there it is. I noticed it last time that it was one of the only ones green on my list, but I'm laddering in like right down to the 20. On which like overall, when I'm used Stubers. So the thing is, like, I don't use Stubers like he's using. Like, okay, so let's say this is technically the Stuber fib. So yeah, let's say we're gonna put it like that, right? And he's laddering in like that, and like that, and I guess like that. So like 4 orders, right? Something like that. That's fine. For me, stupid fibs are a little bit more like confluential, like where is the support exactly? Where is the pocket, right? So yeah, that's for me. That's why I'm using them to just to check it. I'm not really using them for my trades, just because I'm going a little bit more heavier on it, and I have my own way of trading, means swing trading. So what I'm using is something like this. I wanted to have it as tight as possible. That said, if I will laddering into this position, I know that this is the low, this is the high. I don't care about the wicks for the laddering. I care about the wicks for the stop loss or whatsoever, or considering a little bit more wider. But this is the way how I'm doing it, right? And I have set amount, percentage or whatsoever that I spread through this to push my average by as low as possible. So yeah, that's how I'm dealing with it. 98% from 99. Yeah, true, true. Yep. Yeah, so you can do it like it's up to you, right? So this is just a tool. Like stupid fibs, like don't get me wrong, they are good, they work. Why? Because they technically show you where is the lowest point of support and the most high valuable percentage of from the retracement to have a bounce, right? There's a mathematical percentage to it and then calculation on that kind of way. But then you just up to you if you just enter over here, right? And you have your stop loss below, right? To keep it as tight as possible. But then you can, it's the same thing. Like his invalidation is wider. Why? Because he knows as well, and like most of the us know as well, like market tend to do something like this, coming back and close here, right? So this wick, like you could be stopped out. That's fine if you want that to have it like as tight as possible. But his invalidation is nice calculated because it gives you a room to breathe while you have those like big wicks and spikes into it. Why? Because alts tend to have them all the time. Bitcoin not so much, right? Oh yeah, I'm Eve. By all means, like yeah. So the thing is that not all of them, don't get me wrong, but like the first one definitely, and which one is still good? The extension one still is fine. I can agree that the channel as well, all of them are the same. And yeah, the numbers of them, if you set it on default, like yeah, it's all the same. Technically. This is okay. Let me show you that. If you don't know what we are talking about, uh, this Pips is modern way of showing you this. I think most of us know what golden pocket is, right? The old school golden pocket FIP, right? The freaking what everyone is using. The FIPs, like what he's using, is the modernized way of those golden pockets, right? They are more condensed, a little bit more deeper, so you have room to breathe, and as well a small and tight area to ladder into it than this whole big pocket over here. Exact same thing. That's how you can see it or look at it, right? So yeah, end of being too wide. If it goes right down to the, I mean, then like, okay, so if that happens, I have this one on. I understand that it's too wide for you. Then, like I said, use this on, right? Use the low of it and use only this pocket. If it goes below that, you're gonna get stopped out and you carry on and look for another trade, right? He's using it a little bit more wider. Why? Because he can use this area to ladder in as heavy as possible. Because I know for fact he's using one of the heavy orders over here. So that means like if he's gonna place the orders over here, it's gonna be moved, and then the one that's he's having like that, the one on here, it moves his whole order almost close to the freaking 105. Oh, sorry, 115. So his stop loss is gonna be 0.8 or whatsoever, right? So it's gonna be like below the 1%. That's the trick. But not something secret. He's quite vocal about it, but yeah. Minimal your risk. How are you gonna do it? Up to you, right? This is a tool to help you signify the support, laddering into it. Same thing, but for me, this is much more tighter and much more accurate in perspective of hits. I'm using my swing points, right? So yeah, this got hit quite nicely, a little bit more deeper in, and then we can get over it. If you want to trade from it, that's how I'm teaching as well my side of mentoring. Keep the wick, right? And then laddering into it. So potentially, if you're gonna get at the high of the what you call it, a body, right? Potentially, you're gonna get back of it. My stop loss is 1.2% above the wick. Happy with that. I'm gonna be stopped out on that one. I don't care. I will care if I'm gonna be stopped out on something like this, right? Gonna feel that. So that's the kind of a power of laddering in. There's a way of doing that as well. Some exchanges have like the spreads integrated into them, make it easier. But yeah, it just like it take you like what 3-4 orders to spread them and to make them from like let- to make it from low to highest one. That's it. I use too much Vips. I got used to the Alt F. Yeah. Yep. It is. It is. It's what makes you easier, right? You don't need to copy over and use it exactly the same like he's doing or somebody else. Make your own. The thing is with our, and I think most of the mentor could agree with me. Oh, I see Smyrn is here. I think he can agree with that as well. Like if we as mentors showing you a strategy, right? It's there to show you how it works. And if you take it over and make your own with maybe even better things, be my guest, right? Yeah, that's the whole idea and point about it as well. By the way, I just realized we're starting to move the block. So yeah, I think that's the whole idea behind it. I love my, I mean, swing levels. Like for me, they are freaking accurate. Like for example, Smur, right? He's using his pivot points. Those are freaking great. Same thing with swing points, right? Price them to go there and have a reaction from it. That's what you are looking for. It's not something that we force price to do. It's some we are looking at the levels and market, or let's say the chart structure where it tends to get higher reaction from it. That's what you're looking for. There are plenty ways to do that. Yeah, it'll be interesting. To be honest with you, right now I would like that it's gonna be biting into the 20s so I can long the shit out of it again. But I'm fine with the 29. Oh. Mm. And this is as well like another thing what I like mentioning quite a while. One move does not count for everything. Same thing. Uh, all of that stuff that we did, right? That's fine and that's perfect. But don't think we need to long this for any continuation, right? That's the wrong side of it. You always wait for the reaction to the downside, and now we are breaking this. Now we are breaking this, so we're still continuing lower. Still, we're gonna settle down on the price, and the first regain is you sign for yes, we're gonna go back at that high. Same thing. What happened over here, right? Low, high, and then retest of that, grind for like freaking ever, right? Settled in low, first regain, retest, go, right? That's what you're aiming for. This. How is the? Wait, I wanna see the biggest meme coin of all market. Ooh, that's rough. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's rough. Okay. Hey, there we have it. Resistance, distance, right? You hold. But yeah, that's been already tested, so that height doesn't matter. The only low that you matter is here. That's been tested. Every single thing to the downside has been tested, and like you ready. So this is the weekly. Fail that. I go into this pocket, and then yeah, that's your last hold for aiming to get below 1.7. That's been as well, like super flip, I guess. Facto. This is rough. Like because of all of the May, April, Q2, this structure all been tested. If you get below this pocket over here, that means 1.8, 1.7, right? Below that wick, it's been tested. There is one big ass fair value gap. So next stop is going to be 1.555. In at 5K. Get back at 90, almost $90 from the previous all-time high. Okay. Now this goes down as the biggest meme coin ever. Honest with you, I would love it to die it off. There's not much. Like, what's something else interesting to look at it? How is, by the way, the short going on? Are we? Ooh. Oof. Are we holding on it? Yeah, this should be on the body by. Okay, we are holding on it. Fortunately. That's talking about stepwise, right? Merm, when we gonna long Netflix? Is there anything too long? Oh, I make it or break it. Rough, rough, rough. Hmm. 69. Nice. Could be. All depends on how you think plays out. You know how how I think about that, right? So when we're gonna see Netflix, why is it this year, by the way? Pa? That's freaking weird. But yeah, somewhere like here, maybe $20. I'm joking. Let's see. It still didn't settle nothing. Just we broke the 9 time frame stuff, and we are holding like right now barely on 1770-ish. Let's see. I mean, would be something significant if we're gonna do like that, and then we might wipe it once. And not sure. Not sure if we are here. Looks like. Hmm. The thing is, we could actually do, if this gonna be the hold, we could retest that as underside retest. Perfect straight line. Do this. Come back at 60. Then start to reverse that. Right? Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah. Nothing to talk about it yet. That they're fight about it. Did Trump already stepped in between, or Jesus? I didn't bother to look it up. Hmm. White House. Oh, is it now? Boy, oh boy, shit is going down. Yeah, the spamming Epstein. People will never forget about that. They will freaking get to the bottom of it. Yeah. Ooh, good. Calling, let's start to get a subscription. Only going to bigger. Oh yeah, and you know that as well. In my opinion about it, yeah, they will eventually, and of course, and to be honest with you, unfortunately, they're gonna be the biggest, right? And they can do whatever they want. Yeah, I get that, and yeah, I understand that, but yeah, there are no platforms like that big, right? In that kind of range of bigness. I mean, yeah, they are they are in a pole position about that. Fortunately, there are some. I mean, HBO is really, really good. I love that. Like, I cannot talk about shit about that one, but that's the only one that I kind of like. But that's yeah. Netflix. No, I'm gonna fucking shoot the shit out of it, and out of spite. Dexter right now. Yeah, I've been. It was good. I love the old one. The new one I don't like at all. That's just because I think they should leave it as it is. But yeah, interesting stuff. Mistake. So yeah, I think that's all from me. Oh, one thing I wanna check. How does this go? Damn it! Now I know what I deleted it. Wrong one. Fuck. Did it up again. I hate trading views so much. Okay, never mind. Oh, what's that? 8-6. Nice. Nice. Oh, you just open up the position, maybe. Yeah, but you're not. Or are you laddering into it? Sneaky one. A nice one. 28-6. Really nice. Good. See? Sneaky one. I knew it. Ending still. Last hour. Volatility incoming. Yeah, they building up. Always. Hmm. Yeah, see. Steady. Waiting all day. Nice. So yeah, let's see. Oh, not really gonna watch the conference, but better things to do. So yeah, guys, if there are no questions about it, and enjoy my evening. You should do the same when the orange comes. There we go. Go again. Oh shit, I forgot totally. Oh my god, I was so stupid. I told you guys that I'm gonna show you something that we are getting on with the board master as well. So apparently from next week, and I've been quite heavily on that one for now. We are going a little bit deeper on the stocks and stock bots. So we have a couple of them. I'm gonna show you right now the settings of it because I'm still testing them. Um, Eagle have a couple of them. I don't remember which one you have it, but the ones that I'm gonna pull up is the Apple one with the quite nice numbers and overall really good performance. And Google have a really freaking nice one as well. That's gonna be a super long term of a heavy time frame so far. I'm kind of tempting to use that one. The guys are not really convinced yet, but the numbers don't lie. And MDX, AMD as well. So, and there are much more coming from Eagle. So we're gonna start with the stocks ones, and let's see if we're gonna do a little bit more on commodities and all of that shenanigans. So, but yeah, all good and great. This is really long term. Most of them are focused only on hyperliquid. I've been trying, and believe me, I'm deep diving in that one for a month. Yeah, a little bit longer to get a broker with API connection. But believe me, almost none of them have that for trailing view, only for the M4 and M5 app. But that's a pain in the ass. So we cannot use so far the broker. I still gonna reach out for the connection that I have in Poland and in Holland about that. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass. So we need to stick with the exchanges. Luckily enough, how the future start to build up and people are copying over the hyperliquid one. The exchanges are coming as well with stocks, commodities, and all that stuff. So we could see some potential not using the brokers. So that could be fine. Unfortunately, some people will maybe not be happy about that, but it is what it is. And we need to deal with it till we find another way of it. But yeah, that's yeah, not gonna use MetaTrader. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Hyperliquid's quite the leading in that perspective, but it's good, and I like the way how they do it, and kind of like they settling a trend, right? You see already left and right that exchanges start to pick up on that one. So yeah, interesting stuff, and for us as well. And we're gonna start with the stocks and see how that's gonna be performing. Metric wise and number wise, they are super great and freaking awesome. But the thing is, and it's gonna be pain in the ass to learn that, but this is gonna take patience because as you see, the moves are quite big. And like for example, Google Alphabet, we kind of aiming for 7 hour, so that can go one trade can go like for kind of ever. Same thing us with X and Silver, right? But those are the ones that we are looking at it, working on it, and hopefully I'm not gonna be wrong about that. From the next week, I'm gonna be able to trade it as well and use it on the bots. Silver, yeah, I mean we had some nice which I can use like that one. Yeah, we had really nice run-ups on it, but yeah, unfortunately we are in the sideways movement, so yeah, it's what it is. Okay, I think you are running on a different settings, right? For your silver, your position size on gold, silver, because those are not on the current ones, or maybe I didn't change it. That can be, but yeah. So there are a lot of things coming up. So yeah, that's the news that I wanted to share you and a bit more front run it with you. Yeah, yeah, that's 90 minutes on silver, on 90. Oh yeah, you are on a different one. Where did you got that one? Is that the new one? I don't remember what Eagle pulled up because that's his spot. Yeah, that's the new. Yeah, apparently I need to update them. Yeah, didn't have time. for it. But cool stuff. I really like it. I dig it. Be aware, those stocks, so far it's hard to find the good ones because not all of them are in the right position to run a bot. Like for example, I tried to. The funny thing is because my first idea was to get the stocks to have a bot and short only on MicroStrategy, but that's yeah, pain in the ass one as well. The chart of it. And some of them, like Nvidia, doesn't like the automation. It's really bad for it. There was another one as well. I don't remember which one I tried. Yeah, well, not all of them going to be great, of course. Same as on crypto. But yeah, we need to dive into it. And you have as well, I guess you have the Hood and Coinbase one. Yeah. Tesla, I tried. I still cannot find the good settings. I tried. Eagle said to me that he had a good setting, but he still didn't send it to me. But yeah, that one will come up as well. Hopefully, let's see. But so far, yeah, we're gonna have like 5 or 6 maybe to start off. That's more than enough. I know already people gonna freaking set up all of them and let it run, and that's kind of the case with stocks because this is like really, really, really long time frame. So yeah. It's his birthday. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, he did jump on a meeting today with us, and I was like, "Bro, shouldn't be with family." But yeah, so yeah, gonna talk about it, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna be from next week from the update. So yeah, that's the big stuff that's coming up, and we are working on it quite heavily on the UI and different kind of approach things. So yeah, it's been busy. So yeah, that's quite interesting, I guess, and I hope because we have already commodities, stocks, crypto. Um, maybe I'm gonna look into the forex as well. Let's see. So yeah. Anyhow, I've been yapping too much, and I think you're all bored of me. So have a good one. Enjoy your evening and the rest of the week. I will see you later on. Yes, I will. Bang. That's in 2 hours, right, Smyrn? No, it's in 1 hour. Sorry, it's 1 hour. Cool. So yeah, I will see you at Smyrn, the section, and you all should be there for the juicy stuff and good stuff. Have a look if you don't mind on things that you might like. I have some nice cards over there. So yeah, click away and maybe it's gonna be something useful. But yeah, that's gonna be all for me today. Nice chill session, much happening. Someday I think it's gonna be much more interesting stuff coming up with the next weekly open because that's gonna be another week that we potentially could have in downside trending. So yeah, get a card really good. Yeah, freaking the Ether, it's really good. Combine that with Revolut, bro, freaking awesome. But Bitref is as well really good for some really nice cashbacks and really good deals. Like if you're a gamer or whatsoever, shopping lists and that kind of. Oh, if something for you maybe if you like to shop, then Bitrefil, refill that. Yeah, it's a really good card. I ditched my Bybit, so yeah, use it. Let me know if you signed it up. Either way, you're gonna use my Reflect or not. I don't mind, but let me know. I like the feedback. But yeah, Ether, it's freaking good. It's S tier almost. I've been looking at it, and people been like calling it up like a really great card from the leftovers that's been in the market so far. And that one, it's rare because it's one of the kind that you can send from that card straight to your or bank or even to Revolut. So yeah, it's a really good off ramping. I've been using Revolut and the Ether together, and they're freaking amazing. Yeah, and I'm kind of want to ditch my own bank card, like the government bank, for Revolut. So I think I might do that soon, and I'm not gonna be fucking stacked with any kind of banks anymore. Cashback promotion of food and drink. Yep, exactly. It's a really good one. Really good. Like spending freaking crypto wasn't easier than that. Besides using the crypto.com, but I that one was a little bit more like big to go. And yeah, it was some transformation fees and all that kind of stuff, and hard to get a little bit too big. But yeah, those are really great. Yeah, look around, fun, enjoy, and I will see you Sunday. Bye. Love you all.